Hello, this is Richie from the Metal Cell podcast. I'm delighted to say I've Gary here with Hero in Error. How are you, Gary?
Hello, I'm very well. Thank you very much.
Man, welcome to Cork.
Thank you. Yeah,
It's
just
been
arrived in.
It's been a great fucking, I suppose, venue. There's been a few venues, but probably Fred's has been the most time. You played here the most.
I was only talking to Comfy last night, our drummer, and he was saying Fred's is the first venue we played in Cork.
Right.
I completely forgot about that, but I was like, all right, yeah, so does...
And have you played the Cruishkeen as well?
Cruishkeen was the one we played a lot after that. We played Cruishkeen quite a bit. They used to hold a lot of all ages shows there.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, it was Cruishkeen, and then I think the last time we played Cork was Cypress Avenue.
Yeah, okay.
But it's always been Fred's or Cruishkeen, yeah. Is Cruishkeen still
No, it's gone, man. It's a shame. Yeah,
that was a great venue,
it was great, man. Some of the bands that came through there were fucking breathtaking. Like, you know, big European acts like
we had Architects over.
Yeah.
For that, we played Cruishkeen with them in there. Yeah, that venue was like
legendary.
Yeah, it was perfect for us. Like having all ages gigs down there. It was a great venue, great sound. There was a good vibe in there. Yeah.
Yeah. When was that? Like was that 2010? Was it? It was back. It was a good bit back anyway. Like nearly 10 years ago at least.
It would have been maybe 11 even, because I don't know if you've seen my post out. It's like 10 years that High Points and New Lows is out.
Yeah.
So we were playing before that. Yeah. We were playing before even Anto was in the band.
Yeah. Okay, so
Cruishkeen,
let's go back anyway. So you started in 2007. 2007 yourself and Steve.
Yeah.
Confi, is
Comfy,
it?
yeah.
Comfy, yeah.
He has a funny story about why he's called Comfy.
Yeah.
His best mate is actually Stephen Riley as well, and they're both from the same town. So I don't know, that Irish thing where it's like, right, you're from that area, so we're gonna call you from where you're from. So
right.
But yeah,
so like Confi is the drummer, by the way, in case anybody knows, and Gary's on guitar. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in a band called Clergy for a few years, playing bass.
And what kind of style were they?
Well, it was kind of, if I was to put bands who we might be kind of Tooley, Deftones.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
But I started really listening to Sicht and Architects, a bit more extreme.
Yeah.
And I was like playing more guitar than I was bass, so I was trying to write these kind of cool riffs.
Okay.
But Clergy at the time, I was kind of feeling like I wanted something fresh, and I wanted to play guitar.
Yeah.
And then I remember my friend was saying, you should listen to this band. They're like an indie band, kind of like Jimmy Eat World.
Right.
I listened to the drummer. Yeah. And I was like, all right. And I listened to them, and it's like this drummer playing like double kicks over these like nice little, clean bits, and I was like, and this crazy drumming, not even crazy, just real nice flow, and super talented. I was like, all right, oh shit, he's from Lucan, where I'm from as well.
Oh right, okay, cool.
And then we ended up being in the same kind of group of people, and I got to know them a bit. And he, like Stephen tells it better. I don't believe the story, but he said he played a gig one night, and I was like, you need to be my drummer.
Right.
And he's like, oh man, I'm doing this. He's like, no. And I was like, I'm going to bash you. He's like, you did say it. I was like, I don't remember that. But I was probably joking. I was like, I'm going to bash you if you're not my drummer. He's like, right. All right, I'll do it. So we just started jamming. And the singer in Clergy was like, I wouldn't mind doing something. And so I was like, do you want to play bass? And then, we were a 3-piece band. We released a single, I think, the first 6 months of playing, called Scene.
Right.
Which was, I don't even know where it is, if you can even hear it, but I loved the song. I thought it was pretty cool.
You the bass player, or?
I was the guitar player in that band. Yeah. So Keith, the singer from Clergy, came in and was playing bass. So we were a 3-piece. Right. And then he kind of was like, nah, I don't really want to play music. Okay. He was always a bit in and out of bands. You couldn't really get him to settle into anything. Yeah. And me and Stephen just kept playing. He went on, and we just kept trying to find our sound, and kept jamming from there.
So you had what about like kind of the scene itself in relation to the kind of music that you liked in Dublin? Was there any bands kind of playing something similar to what you were kind of trying to achieve? Or did you kind of...
Trying to think back, that's a
long time ago, yeah.
See, we were trying to sound, kind of like Sicht and Architects. Be a bit more out there and push the boundaries a bit. But there was not, at the time, I think it was more of a metalcore scene. Right. I think there was more kind of like bands just doing breakdowns and stuff like that. I'm trying to think back. I don't think there was.
Yeah.
So we were kind of...
You were kind of on your own that way.
Yeah, but we weren't even playing that stuff. We were attempting to play.
Yeah.
We were struggling.
So what was the kind of big change then?
I think we're the members that we got into the band kind of were like, I don't know, I think with any band, once you start it, like a few years in, you'll only start feeling like where the sound's going and what sound suits you. And we done an EP called Under My Sky, and it was very kind of metally Lamagodi sounding.
Right.
And I could feel that there was like, it just wasn't us, but there was elements to the songs that were like, you know, I this is something that I want to work on here.
Yeah.
So it took us a few years, and then I was like, started getting more into hardcore music with some of the techie side. And we just started playing around with that stuff and incorporating, and just the hero sound started happening.
Yeah. Was Anthony after joining you at that stage?
He came in...
It was around 2010, I think, was it?
Yeah, we pretty much had the whole of High Points finished. There was like, it was probably about 85-90% done.
Right.
They were like, shit, we need a vocalist. We were booked in with Justin to record.
Okay.
And then Anto came in, and just got jamming, and he added some bits to the songs that were really cool.
Yeah.
He added like a nice hardcore element to it that we were looking for. Just good vibes. And then, from there we went on and done High Points.
Well, Dan Weller was involved as well, wasn't he?
Dan Weller was involved in the very first EP, Under My Sky.
Oh, okay, so that was the connection there. So he kept...
The connection was actually through Justin.
Right.
So Justin, I've been friends with Justin since 2006, where Sick were playing in Dublin, and the band was in Clergy. We were supporting them.
Okay.
Me and him just hit it off, and I saw him and Weller were doing a lot of production. I was like, oh, I'd love that.
Cool.
And the sound they were getting, I was like, I'd love to go over. Like, Sick were such a huge part of me and Comfy's playing. Like, he's a huge Dan Ford fan, the drummer is like incredible. And I'm a huge Weller fan, so we were like, and of course Justin's just this incredible singer, and we were like, if we can get the chance to go over and just record with them and just be in a room with them for a week would just be amazing. And just like,
so it was recorded then in Fortress Studios in London.
Yeah.
So
well, the first EP, both of them were actually,
So like Justin had worked with Betraying the Martyrs, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Heart of a Chord, the singer there.
Singer,
There you go, man. Life is circles.
Should be here soon, don't worry.
Yeah, Jesus, that's mental. So I just wanted to kind of establish that early.
Yeah, we actually we played in the UK. I can't remember where it was. I know Milton Keynes in London, but Can was actually in Monuments at the time. Yeah. So we were playing with Monuments and Tesseract over there, and then it's just funny how, like, it just kind of all came about, and then Can ended up being in Hero.
I always say it, man. The metal community, like, despite it being very big, is very small as well. You know, if you just kind of, if you meet people on a night out and you get on well with them, man, you're guaranteed to keep that connection going through gigs and stuff. You know. Yeah, sure. I still talk to people. You know, we played in London in 2000. I think it was 2010. We just released High Points in Euros. We went over and played. We were meant to play this festival, and it just fell apart. Yeah. And Tesseract kind of took us under the wing because they had a few dates, and they're like, just jump on and play with us. Cool. And I still talk to people from those days. So Justin laid down vocals as well on Under My Sky. Yeah. Second time round. Yeah. So Under My Sky was on the EP Under My Sky with a different vocalist. Okay. And we kind of really wanted that song. We liked it, so like we want it on High Points and New Lows. So we're all huge Justin Hill fans. Yeah. And I was like, if you're producing it, you're singing on it. Because High Points, actually going back to what you said about Dan Weller, Dan stepped away for that EP. So the High Points and New Lows is Justin's first EP by himself producing. Yeah. So he jumped on board. And the artwork then, was that Paul Ahern? Yeah. Yeah, how did that come about? I remember when we were recording it, the EP, I was just walking in London with Comfy, and we were talking about artwork and what design we should go for and all. And I just had this like nautical theme in my head, wanted anchors, and I wanted a big octopus coming out of the water, and I didn't want it like graphically designed on a computer. I wanted someone to draw it. Yeah. I don't know if you see the theme, like if you see the cover of Obey, like one of our Rob's wife's brother painted it. So and the cover for Hollow Truth was painted as well. So kind of like we had merch as well that was designed by tattoo artists and stuff. Like I just kind of preferred it, but he was just kind of
in the group of people that were hanging around.
Yeah.
Back
So
then.
you obviously gave him. Did you give him the songs or lyrical themes, or did you
No, I just told him. I was
just
like,
told them this is
we're
what?
going nautical, and
Yeah. Okay.
that's
yeah,
the style. I wanted a big octopus coming over, taking over a ship. Oh, here he is.
Okay. Introduce yourself there.
How are you doing? I'm not comfy. I'm Rob, the other
Rob.
guitarist.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Traffic in Cork, man. What can I say?
Parking. That was the problem.
We're just kind of going through the first EP, so you haven't missed too much, Rob. At that stage, like, your endorsement deals were fucking crazy. You know, like you were getting kind of with Mayfish custom drums, Division 2, 6 Clothing USA, Dovetail. Like, where was all this coming from, or how was?
I had a pedal endorsement as well. I can't even remember the name of them.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I think we were approached by them. I know Stephen or Comfy had I think he had approached Mayfish. He's seen them online, and or they might have been talking to him as well. I don't know.
Back then, like in 2010, you wouldn't hear of bands getting a lot of endorsements, but
we were very jealous.
You were kind of milking it, like.
Rob was in
from afar before I joined.
So I don't know. That's like, it was weird, especially for an Irish band. Because we used to be really frustrated because it's like no one wants to listen to us. Because I was like, you know, I feel like we're a good band. I don't think we're a bad band. Like, I just feel like just like we don't seem to be catching anyone's attention. And then all of a sudden, we're getting these messages from people like, "Oh, will you wear our stuff?"
Yeah.
And it was a strange time.
That was mad. Yeah. In April, then Lawrence joined.
Yeah.
On bass. What was the connection there between Lawrence and NEV? Or
I think Lar was a bit of a manager kind of person. He was kind of just helping bands out, and I think at that time he was managing Red Enemy. I was kind of doing some good stuff for them, and we were down a bass player, and I was like, well, you know, he used to play guitar in a band, and he wants to kind of manage us. Maybe he could fill the role of playing bass as well. And we just went on from there, and he joined just before the EP came out, so you know, he didn't get to play on it around that, but he was over there with us and just hanging out playing FIFA.
So did he start managing you from then on as well?
I think he was managing us just before that.
Right.
But there was not really much done. We already had like a lot of the endorsements done, and you know, working with Justin and all was through us as well.
Yeah, so I'd say it was like Hold Tight PR then came in behind you as well. Were they English based?
Yeah, so that's kind of how what I just spoke about when we played with Tesseract. Yeah. So James, is it James Monteith? That's the name.
It is.
Yeah, I can never say his second name. Monteith. He worked for Hold Tight PR, and they were connected with Basic Records. So we knew Barley from Basic and James, so we kind of were chatting to them about doing some PR. Like, we were kind of more looking for advice from them as well. Okay. It's like we're trying to get out there.
You were trying to get into England and Europe.
Because any promoter we talked to were like, oh, we need to see your press kit. We need to see what you've done and what the media are saying, and you know, give us a look at your videos. And we're like, we have
MySpace era.
Yeah, so we don't have anything. Like, we're playing a good few gigs in Ireland, but they're like, but we're not in Ireland. We don't get to see it. Like, we need to. Yeah. So they were like, look, we'll take you on board, and then they done loads of stuff for us. They got us like.
You got a lot of supports,
we got some good supports. But like they got bloggers reviewing us and guitar magazines talking about us, and so we were able to have a press kit and send to these people. Yeah. Look, we are a band. We're not bad. So, but
in December then you had 2 tracks ready in 2010.
So you know more than me. I'm like, what? December? What?
You were obviously looking at. The EP's gone out of the way. We've got like 2 or 3 new tracks. So you were obviously looking to get an album at that stage.
Are you talking about after?
So this is kind of heading into 2011.
Okay.
I'd say, Rob, you made an appearance in January of that year, if you can remember.
This is where Gary and I we had a bit of a swap over. But no, I mean, thankfully it's all good now. But at the time, I think you know, Gary had departed the band. I got a message actually out of nowhere. I was finishing up finishing up recording with Red Enemy with Jay, and I got a message just before around this time 9 years ago. Jesus. Yeah. Just to say, would I look to fill in? And there's a few shows coming up in 2011. One of which was Ghost Fest. Would I? I was like, fair enough, but what's going on with Gary, kind of thing. Anyway, long and the short of it, yeah. So
what was going on with you, Gary?
I said I'd be honest. So
the mic comes closer.
I was like, should I be honest? I know. We just thinking back. I think, you know,
hindsight is great,
if Confi was here, I think he'd agree with me. We were just a bit immature. I don't think we were kind of butting heads, and we even say it like when we were writing music, we would butt heads a lot.
Yourself and Confi.
Yeah, but it was like a healthy thing because the songs benefited. We're like, right. And I think we kind of, it just wasn't a good time for both of us.
Okay.
And then other members of the band, I think, were just
maybe influencing.
They were taking sides.
Influence it, and they were like, maybe, you know, could be time for Gary to go off and do something else, and we'll get someone else in. And so they decided to go ahead with that, and I was kind of told to. I was giving me orders to leave. Yeah, it's fine now. Like I don't mind talking about it, but at the time it was like, hold on, you know.
Yeah, especially since you're a founding member, man.
Yeah, founding member, and then with High Points, you know, the majority of the music, like the guitar riffs and all, came from me. Yeah. And me and Stephen and Adam as well, who was in the band. Yeah. You know, worked a lot on it, spent a lot of money getting to Justin and all, and then it was just like, good luck. See ya. So I was a bit upset. I was like, maybe we should sit down and talk about it. I was told, no, there's no meeting.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
It was pretty cutthroat from the outside.
Yeah.
You know, obviously.
But it was an awkward time. So I ended up just moving to London just to get away from it. Like I couldn't even go for a pint in Fibbers without someone annoying me about it. It was a rough time. But yeah, I think immaturity came into it. Like Stephen now says, you know,
but like
if it was now, I would have met you.
Yeah, for perspective, like how old were you? You have to kind of, like you were definitely in your 20s.
Oh yeah, I was 25, 26, but the head I had on me then to the head I have on me now, like I'm a lot more relaxed. I was a bit hot-headed, and I think the other...
Jeez, I don't know about that. You're just a 34-year-old version of...
But yeah, I don't know, that's a hard question for me to answer, because you know, it would be easier for Stephen to answer, because he was
maybe
behind it, and I just received a text like, right, I'm out, so
okay.
He'd probably answer that better, but I don't know. It was a really strange time.
Yeah, must have been difficult. All right. So then, Rob, like, I mean, obviously you knew them all.
I did. Yep.
So coming into it with fresh eyes, were you kind of worried about the dynamics of the band in relation to you?
I mean, I came in literally to fill in for a number of shows. Yeah. Red Enemy was, that was my main thing at the time, and essentially, the reason why I got asked was because Adam, the other guitarist at the time, and we were schoolmates. We grew up. We played in metal bands for years before that. Okay. So it was quite a natural thing. It was just in his home in Enfield in Meath, just going over the riffs. But it was strange. But I definitely didn't go into it with a thing of this is a permanent fixture. Okay. Yeah. It was only that it materialised that I enjoyed it. Yeah. Obviously there was a bit of a challenge there with the Red Enemy Hero and Air situation. I made my decision at the time. Again, I was a lot younger than I was than I am now, for sure. Obviously enough, because it was 9 years ago. But
so for people that don't know, were Red Enemy probably bigger at the time than Hero and Error?
I would say
on equal standing.
No, I would say Hero had more exposure. Okay. I think the High Points and New Lows had come out just before the bigger of the two EPs that Red Enemy had done. I think we were probably, you'd probably agree, Gary.
You were always the bigger band.
You'd love to hear that. No, but it wasn't that decision. I think it was my style of writing was gravitated more towards what was happening, I think, at the time. And Adam and I knew each other for years and years, so it's pretty natural transition. I would say.
So the media scare then. Yeah. How'd that come out?
That came out of nowhere again. That was literally during a time when I was still very much a temp.
Right.
I specifically remember we were jamming in near Harold's Cross. Remember Mark Murphy's studio, and they kind of got the word through. I think it was something that was in the mix anyway, even whilst you were there.
Yeah, when I was there, we were getting, because when we played in England and played some shows, and it went really well for us. Like, got a lot of people watching us.
Yeah.
And I think James from Tesseract.
Okay.
Was in America on tour and was chatting away to some of the guys in Sumerian, and Sumerian got in touch with us, and we didn't have, like, back then there was no GoPros or iPhones. We just had these, and they were like, look, we think you're cool. Obviously we're in America, you guys are in Ireland. Do you have any footage that we can see live? And we just had these like real pixelated bad sounds. Fuck. So we did that. Didn't pick up, and then it was at that point where, you know, I was removed, and then I think Sumerian, I think Media Scare was that like a sister company, or was there like a branch off?
There was a link there.
There was like a link. I think they were like,
Sony were behind them. They're US.
Sony Red, yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of they're US based in Los Angeles, and so like kind of they came in then free.
Yeah, so basically we just got word, okay, Media Scare coming in, and it was off the back of a really solid Ghost Fest slot that we had that summer, or it was just that spring. You know, we were sharing the stage with bands that are huge now. Like, I specifically remember Suicide Silence, Think Bury Your Dead.
Oh wow.
There was loads of really big bands. We were playing the smaller stage, but I mean, you'd have After the Burial and all these kind of guys that are now, you know, they're certainly of a high standard in terms of scope and scale. So that was pretty much, so it was the Media Scare thing, it was the Ghost Fest thing. There was a run of shows in 2011. We did what was called the Triple H tour as well, which was
with all the bands,
Heights, Hundreds, and ourselves.
Yeah.
That was interesting just from a perspective that the other two were very much a hardcore band. We were very much a metal techie band. So there was tours like that we kind of played throughout that period of time, all the while trying to get an album together.
Yeah. Like, so there was, I think you kind of went over to America.
February 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In September, you said that the album was finished.
It was pretty much there. Yeah. So we were doing a lot of demos up to that point. So a lot of home-based demos. You know, Anto was very much at the fore of that, which I guess is interesting when you consider what happened then, leading up to the American trip, the recording, etc. So he had a very prominent role. Myself, Adam, Anto, Confo, Lar, like we were all kind of inputting into that same studio actually that I mentioned. I can't remember the name of it.
Which one?
The one, Mark Murphy's one.
Badlands Studios.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. So that was a project with Lars and Confi, wasn't it? Was it? Were they
No, I think you're talking about when Lar and Anto got into
what studio was that?
They done merch.
All right.
I don't think they had a studio, did they?
They had an area,
I was like,
I was doing my research, man.
I'm like,
know anything, mate?
How does he know this shit? You have the dates and everything. I'm like, what the hell?
Steve Evans,
yeah.
Came involved. Was
So
that a good thing or a bad thing? I'd imagine at the time, you must have been fucking blown away by the fact that the producer of Every Time I Die, Dillinger Escape Plan, The Cure, Hatebreed, I mean, Architects.
Absolutely, man. I mean, Architects still would be, and specifically Tom Cyril, you know, obviously the guy passed away in 2016, still devo about that. That guy was one of my biggest guitaring influences. So to be going to the same studio, albeit maybe not my favorite of their albums, I think Outhouse is where they kind of carved their talent from an early stage. But I specifically remember it was Christmas Eve. I was in London with my aunt, and I get a phone call from Lars saying, "Look, we're going to Steve Evans in LA. Like, pack your bags. We're going for 3 months."
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus. Like, I mean, you know, you're a guitarist in Dublin. I mean, I lived out in the bogs of Kildare. Like, you know, this is what you dream of. So initially, it definitely was the dream to go to LA. Obviously, I think it was probably what the straw that broke the camel's back for Anto, unfortunately. But you know, initially it was the best news that we could have had.
Of course,
It's what you strive for, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you actually went there for 3 months.
Just shy of 3 months. Yeah.
Right.
So it was supposed to be I mean, we were supposed to be like a, get out there, get to know the label.
Go to the shows.
Yeah, go to the shows. I mean, we went to
people,
had some amazing memories from out there. But obviously it didn't go fully to plan.
So can you just kind of develop that? Because was it just down to the producer, or a mixture of both?
It was location, I think, for Anto. I think he was having some issues with traveling on. I specifically remember him having some phobia of traveling by air. And I just don't think it was for him. It wasn't for him at the time.
I even remember when we were recording the EP, he was like I remember he was like, I fucking hate big cities, and London's just like, it's awful. I think he just wanted to come in, do the vocals and
get out.
But he came over the whole time. He was like, I just hate big cities. So I can imagine flying, was it like 13 hours or something to LA would just...
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of travel. I mean, we flew via Madrid, we went into Chicago down to LA. It was like, there was a lot of travel going on, and, he had his life in Ireland. At the time, of course, you're very much... Everything offends you when it's not like... When it affects your experience, and you're like, my God, what are we going to do without a vocalist? But looking back on it, 7 years later, he made the right decision for him. Yeah.
So at that stage then, like your fan base, I must say, right through all those changes, you leaving Gary and Rob joining, and just kind of even up to that whole episode where you went to America and came back, your fan base was incredible right through it.
Yeah.
They just stayed so loyal, so positive.
Like even now,
it's incredible.
Like we still get messages from people, especially in Cork. Like this place is like, Cork is the home of Hero on Earth, to be honest. Like, we've had amazing shows all over the country, and Cork is just, they've always been so loyal to us. And it's always interesting because, like, as I was saying, when we done the all ages shows and all, we had young kids going to the shows, and now they're all like coming to these gigs, and they're all older now, sinking points with us. So like, this is, they're there since the very start.
Yeah, they have.
It's amazing. Like, as soon as High Points came out, they were just... I even remember we played on Crushkin, and we just released Port in a Storm, and we played The Rapture that night. And I don't know how, but people were singing it back to us. We're like, we haven't released it. How the hell do you know this? Like, it was, I don't know. We have some good fans. Yeah, they really stuck with us and keep us going. We wouldn't... Like, the only reason... we wouldn't be arsed.
We would. I think it... as...
But doing it as Hero and Era, we could have done other bands, but we're like, there's people who still turn up to see us play and enjoy the music and want us to keep playing music. So when that stops, we'll consider it. But
it's incredible. It's a great story of a fan base that stayed loyal through all the trouble and all the shit that you went through.
Multiple changes. And
because like kind of, you had a different singer then, 2013. Keith.
So Keith came in, literally as a result of the fact that we were over in LA. We were recording the music with Steve Evans, and as you alluded to, he's, we really get the sense of the enormity of the situation we're in. We're working with a guy who's done countless albums that, have sold at least hundreds of thousands of records. The Cure, as you said, Every Time I Die, Architects, blah blah blah. But throughout that, there's that undercurrent of we don't have a singer. It was actually something that materialized out of the head of the label from Mediascare suggesting this guy. We got in contact. He flew out. He started writing.
Where was he from? London.
He's from Boston.
Oh, Boston.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So he's an American guy.
Right.
Keith Hollock. It was a very abnormal situation. Not only because we were in LA, but because we have this guy that we've never met, and to try and build a chemistry. And,
of course.
None of the bands that we were ever in were built around, almost getting randomers into a room. It was always mates, or even when I jumped into Here on Air from Red Enemy, I knew the lads. But Keith came in. I think we played in Cork actually. We had a couple of shows with him, and we played with These Nuts back in 2015. And then we played, God, what's the venue that's a converted cinema? It used to be cinema here.
The Savoy, no?
No, Jesus, I can't think of. We played 2 shows in Cork anyway with him.
Right.
But yeah, look, I mean, that was never a natural situation.
Yeah. You still had, like, who was in the band at that stage?
Myself, Adam, Lar, Comfy.
Okay,
It
so
was- it was-
still the four of you.
Still the four of us, yeah.
So you sat kind of on that, like, was the album was finished, I presume. Was it at that stage? The vocals were done with Keith, was it?
Yeah, Keith, yeah.
So there was still no release. What were Media Scare kind of doing at that stage? Were they happy to leave you kind of?
So there was a couple of things. It was finalising the album, finalising the vocals.
Yeah.
And then it just literally got sucked into the abyss of things that just get forgotten.
Right.
It was a really odd thing, and that's probably the best way I can put it, most diplomatic way of putting it as
Yeah.
well, which, there's obviously, when you get to that level of, LA-based labels, you've got a producer who's very, very busy, and you're trying to carve out some time with him to finalise it, and then we went to other various studios to finalise vocals and all that kind of thing. And then I guess, it did lack the vibe of having Anto on it. I'm going to be totally honest.
Yeah.
I'm sure Confo and Lara and Adam, if they were in my position, they would say the same.
Yeah.
It lacked that dynamic, and it just got to a stage where it just never materialized.
Yeah. And have you got the masters? Who has the masters?
God, I think
I think Stephen does.
I
Well, I
think
don't
he
even think it
does.
got mastered, did it?
No, I don't think it did.
Okay.
There's certainly some tracks out there somewhere in
Yeah.
in
the abyss.
probably on the dark web or
I don't
something.
think it'll ever
No,
see the light of day.
It's
though.
No, it doesn't
amazing.
need to. It doesn't
Yeah.
need to. I think it's
Yeah.
what we have at the moment is a lineup which
Yeah.
embodies more of it.
And like that relationship then with Media Scared, is that gone? When did that finish?
Yeah, I mean it just fizzled out along with the album really.
Yeah, they just kind of dropped G as such. There
Yeah.
was no kind of strings.
You did try to contact
Yeah,
contacting them just to say that we're like, we're
what's up,
doing
what's
stuff.
kind of thing. But yeah, no, I mean I don't know what the situation was or is with Media
Okay.
Scare, but look, they gave us a very huge opportunity, which I'll be eternally thankful for.
Yeah.
And they're really good guys. I think it was just one of those things where
Mm.
we became inactive because of having a
Yeah.
US based vocalist, and
Yeah,
then
Yeah, it was never gonna.
it didn't
So-
materialize.
So Gary, you were over in London at all this time. So you were probably going back and forth to Dublin. You were probably, even though maybe you didn't want to know about it, you were still getting updates from the progress of the lads or non-progress or like. So this is 2014.
When it all came down to it, like, and I was gone. I didn't really, because they went to LA, and I was like, right, I just have to
Park
just, because obviously, as Rob was saying, it's like every guitar player or every musician's dream.
Yeah.
To sign that contract, and then go to LA, and I remember watching DVDs of bands recording with Steve Evans, and I was like,
Yeah.
it is what it is. And then so I kind of just like completely took myself out of it, and but then it just went quiet, and with the lads nothing happened, and I was just like, I don't know, I just kind of heard through mutual friends like, well, this is what went on and this is what's happening. I was kind of like,
Okay.
all right, fair
So
enough.
that so kind of.
It did go really quiet, like it.
Yeah, it
There were,
did.
like the page was just.
But were you
dead.
still in London at that stage, or had
Yeah.
you moved back?
No, I only came back last November.
Okay.
Speaking of singers, Cantasan.
Hey, Can. Can has just joined us here as well.
Hello.
No, in London it was pretty much like I only came back last November.
Okay.
Was it November, September?
We were both over. We both moved home in October. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm only
October
home,
last year.
home
All
a
right,
year.
okay.
So
So like we'll just go back to when you returned to the band then. How'd that come about?
Jesus, how did I go out? You can.
So I was buzzing around Westminster. I just moved over to London
In a
and I
Mini.
was doing all that cliche London stuff. And I get a text from Gary because Tiro was pretty much done at that point. Lar had decided to leave, and Adam wasn't interested, and it was never going to work with myself and Confo, and we didn't have a singer really.
Yeah.
So I was buzzing around Westminster, and I get a text off Gary, and I'm like, oh, that's a bit awkward, because we hadn't really spoken since I took his spot essentially.
Okay.
Buzz over for a coffee, and we just started chatting crap and just talking about the band, talking about music, and it was just quite a natural thing. We were like, do you want to buzz over and we'll just start jamming and see what happens? And
Cool,
that's basically how it materialized. We
we didn't even start to go like.
This
let's
is
do
Hero.
Hero. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I haven't, because I went off and done like acoustic-y stuff and
Okay.
singer-songwriter
Yeah.
stuff, and then I was like, geez, I haven't played. He handed me the 7th string, and I was like, I haven't. What the hell is this thing?
A few
Like,
calluses after that day.
and then
Classic.
then I was like, I remember just going, I had this riff ages ago when we first came back after High Points and New Lows. I was like, I had this song that me and Comfy were kind of messing around with,
Yeah.
because he was programming drums. I was like, we might as well just play around with
Yeah.
that. I was like, oh, it sounds good. And I think Comfy was coming over with some friends to hang out with you for the weekend, and he just wrote to me. He was like,
Yeah.
look, I'm going to be over. I'd love to meet you, have a coffee and
Yeah.
have a chat. I was like, all right. Sat down with him. Hadn't seen him in, like, since the last time I saw him before that was at a football, and we went to see Ireland play, and that was like, I think a week before they kicked me out. And
Right. Jesus. Okay.
I hadn't seen him since, and he just sat down and was like, look, I'm so sorry. All
Yeah.
that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. And I was like, you know, it was tough, whatever.
Mm.
So I think you had the cancer research show coming up.
Yeah, so we didn't play that though.
I know, but that's how it all kind
Yeah,
of started.
like so. I got Baylor over for that as well. Actually, out of
Yeah.
shout out to them lads.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was 4 years ago, and it was basically myself and Gary sitting down writing. You had a bit of a reconciliation with Comfy
Yeah.
Stephen. We shout out to this lad here, Kantasan.
Yeah.
Again, we got him involved as well, and it just kind of materialized from there. We just started really from the cancer research show. We started getting a hype about
Okay.
playing music again.
Nice. Yeah. And was the Comfy stay in Dublin all that time?
Yeah, he was in
Okay.
Dublin the whole
So
time.
were you kind of just sending demos back and forth?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And then like he came over as well and jammed with us, but like he's so good, and we kind of knew the songs, and we just got into a room for a few hours.
Yeah.
The set was done. I was like, grand. Then we
Okay.
could just go off and have a few pints.
Yeah.
And
So,
like,
so Hollow Truth then was released in 2016.
yeah. So
That was that riff that you're referring to. That
was the
Yeah.
the
yeah,
riff
we
at the time,
played around
yeah.
with that, and
What was the reception like to it?
yeah, it was like I was kind of like nervous and worried
Yeah.
because nothing has come from Hero since High Points and New Lows.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
There was like me getting out of the band, them going to America, an album, constant talk of an album, no album. So everyone's like, what the fuck is going on here? Like,
Yeah.
where are you going? Like, this is mental.
Yeah.
So I was like, we just need to, if we're going to do this, let's just get a single out. Like, just here we are, here's
Yeah.
the band are back, we're playing. And yeah, so I was like, let's just get this
Get it
out.
out. Yeah,
and
it
we
was-
got, yeah, Kantasan came on board. How did you come about?
You can grab the mic there,
Hello.
Ken.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think. Like when was it?
So we're
Oh,
on
it was
about the
back-
Hollow
it was-
Truths.
Oh
and
no, I mean it was back in the day, just after everything had happened when you guys were going over to LA. Like Rob hit me up whilst I was away on tour. Like, any chance you want to put your life in the bin and just come to LA for a month? And I was
Bit of
like,
a long shot, you know.
no, unsurprisingly. But then I don't know, when we got back, you guys were in London and stuff, and same sort of thing. We just kind of
We sent you the demo.
sent us a demo, went for a coffee and pints.
Few pints, man.
Yeah,
Come on,
and
be
then
honest.
and it just went from there. It was a bit of a no-brainer. I knew the EP, knew the guys,
Okay.
so like it
Yeah.
was it was going to be good crack. Just playing that old EP was just a good laugh, and then the fact that we got to write some new stuff was even better. So
Yeah.
so it's all just
Excellent.
crack.
So, Obey then was released in October the 31st, 2017. The songwriting in that, were you all part of it?
Yeah, very much so. So I think how
It's
that
a
EP.
great EP, actually, by the way.
Thanks very much.
Cheers, man.
Fantastic,
Oh,
man.
appreciate it.
So
Yeah.
where all that came from was myself and Gary. It was probably a more unnatural way of writing compared to what we would have typically done, maybe for High Points or previous. Literally in a room, the two of us going through riffs, program drums. We'd send that over to Can. We get his feedback, or myself and Gary would then rework it. A couple of pints after,
Yeah.
the classic way of writing. But yeah, that's pretty much how that specific song came about. I think just
Yeah,
writing in
it
East
was
Finchley.
It
and
was a
London.
completely different process. Because,
Yeah.
I was kind of used to sitting in a room with a band. I'd have like some
jamming it
riffs, or
out,
someone
yeah.
would bring some
Yeah.
riffs. I'm like, right, you have everyone's feedback, where it's like Rob might have a bit of a riff, or I might have a bit of a riff, and then we're sitting down, and then we're playing like little sections, and so it took a lot for me to kind of get my head around that. Where Rob's very much used to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm happy with that EP. I think it came out great. Like.
Gary and I also had to essentially write the drums for it because Confo decided that he wasn't in a position to continue with us for various reasons. You know, he's a professional drummer. That's what he does for a living. We were living in London. Yeah. You know, there's a couple of reasons there, but so we had to not only write the guitars, bass, drums. So it was quite a lot between the two of us. Yeah. To get together, but you know, we had Khan who nailed it. We had Mike Mallion, ex-Monuments.
He was on drums, is it?
Yeah. So he literally just came in, bang, done in one day.
I think having Justin as well at the helm.
He knew your stuff anyway. Yeah,
he's
huge.
He's amazing. He's part of the band. Yeah. Like that guy has, like, we wrote the songs, but he put an essence on it that really shaped the sound of the band. So I knew we had to go back to him. Yeah, he even rang me this morning, like, I'm so excited for you guys. This is amazing. So.
And Todd jumped in as well with Honor.
My old mate Todd, yeah. So Todd's a really good friend of mine. It's kind of weird how I met him, actually. I used to work in coffee, as a coffee roaster, and he works in coffee as well in Rhode Island. Yeah, Rhode Island. Providence, yeah. And with the company I was with in London, they were sending me out to Costa Rica. Lucky me.
Jesus.
To go to these coffee farms and all.
So you did get to travel.
Yeah, so I got up in the morning, went down to get me breakfast and all. And I just seen a guy sitting there, and I was like, he looks like a guy that I could chat to, kind of tattoos and stuff. I was like, because everyone else was like super standoffish and he was cool. So I was chatting away to him. Then we sat on a bus. We had like a 6-hour drive. And I was like, oh, do you play music or anything? He's like, oh, yeah, I used to be in this band. I was like, what was the band called? He's like, With Honor. I was like, holy shit, I fucking love that band. And he just got chatting, and I was like, I'd love you to be a part of this. We sent him the demo. Do you want to do something on this? He's like, yeah, let's go.
Jesus.
So Todd came on. I forgot you. I was like, oh yeah.
So that was the EP release. Then again, more traction, more publicity, great reviews. Yeah. Really positive with it. Did you do 2 or 3 tours on the back of that, or we kind of stayed in Ireland anyway?
Few shows with it. Yeah, we did a couple of runs with that. Yeah. One with Confo, one with Mike
as well. Yeah.
And then we finished the last show we've played actually was a show in London, which I had to play bass on. So not the ideal.
A good night.
Not the ideal curtain closer at the time, but yeah, so it wasn't too hot and heavy in terms of tours because
you've no bass player?
We do have a bass player. So
okay, who's the bass player? So
Jay Doyle, who was the original bass player in Hero, is back with us now.
Okay, right.
So that has been amazing. Like, he's just there he is. Ah!
Look at him.
There he is. Be nice having Jay back.
Ace Dana.
He's he brings a sparkle. Adam Moore's here as well.
You've
brings
got all the
sparkle
lads
to the band.
Right.
I feel nervous now. I have all these lads behind me.
So yeah.
Sorry. We have everyone's here now, bar Stephen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Jay's back on bass. So
cool.
Yeah, he brings a lot and entertainment, as you can see.
Yeah. So that's cool. And what about new songs?
I think we're gonna do.
That's the next thing.
Play the gig tonight. Have a bit of time off for Christmas, and then New Year we're gonna knuckle down and probably go do another EP.
We definitely want to get writing with this lineup with Jay and Stephen back.
Yeah.
And then also just make it a bit more of a natural writing process, like getting into a room, just smashing out some tunes. But
so you're not full-time musicians?
No.
We're
at the we couldn't do it the way we used to do it. It was like full throttle. Now it's just we do it because we love to play.
You're like the rest of us now.
Yeah.
Holding down jobs.
We all have to work and pay rent and do all that stuff, and Stephen's a dad. You're buying a house. There's all grown-up things to happen. So
just to kind of put things into perspective now, you kind of look at the bands now they're coming through, as you said, Baylor, Worn Out.
Yeah.
What's your views on the scene now?
Strong.
Cork is doing really good things for heavy music. I think, from my perspective at least, there's probably it's probably the the pendulum is definitely in the favour of Cork at this stage. Just thinking about bands that I would be aware of.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm like the be all and end all when it comes to what's going down, but the Dublin scene is definitely more toward. I mean, there's a lot of hip hop stuff happening in Dublin. I think Cork definitely still has that hardcore metal vibe going down. So I mean,
Baylor
are killing it.
Like they're off in the UK and Russia and like they're non-stop. They're going strong, and the songs are bangers.
And they're massive fans of you as well, which is cool.
Yeah, no. I remember playing with them back in the day when it was.
They were kids, and we were kids.
Knock 'em Dead, I think was Alex's band and our band, and something special or something beautiful. Was Chris's heart, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. Chris actually played bass with you.
He did.
Yeah.
One stage.
That was great.
We've had a lot of people
lads
coming in and through this band. Like that was the Mike, the short run that we did with Mike. Chris came in, he smashed it. But no, I mean those guys, they're going to Aidan Cunningham as well. So they've
Aidan Cunningham,
serious producer. So shout out to Ado, but for sure, it's really strong. I mean.
Right. Yeah, I think some of the guys are coming tonight, hopefully.
Oh yeah,
and then the Worn Out guys, like those guys, like I saw them in Fibbers there a few months ago. I was like, holy shit, these guys are great. And I felt really bad because we booked shows just when the EP came out, but we had to cancel them because the drummer we had a different drummer. He couldn't play them, and
it was really annoying.
So we tried to book shows with them before, and it kept falling through. And I was like, I promise, this gig's gonna happen. So I'm delighted to have those guys on, and they're like, I'm looking forward to their new EP. It's gonna be,
but we all
from what I seen live, I was like, holy shit, it's gonna be bangers.
Absolute heft master.
So that's it, lads. Listen, you cleared up a load of stuff.
Hope we.
It's a fantastic.
I
think it's a great story,
like,
if you don't mind me saying.
Cool,
there's a lot of pain and heartache involved, but man, the fact that you're sitting here in front of me and you're about to play tonight, man, that sums it up.
That's the best thing about it.
It's literally you get to a point where it has to be about the fun, and that's what it is. I mean, we're all in our 30s now. It has to be about the fun. And for anyone who's coming tonight, who's listening to this, thanks a million for actually still giving a shit, because
that's why we have boxes of the High Points and New Lows EP. We're just giving it to everyone who comes in that door. There's one for everyone in the audience. As I put up, big shout out to Gay Byrne. But it's just a thank you to Cork. Like, yous have absolutely made this band what it is. So happy days.
And thank you for having us, man.
Appreciate it.
I'm glad to have you, lads.
I hope we answered the questions properly. I feel like I was just talking.
I guided you through some of the difficult stuff.
I was like, oh god damn it. Where do I go with this?
So you've been listening to Paul and Gary from Hero and Error. This is Richie from the Metal Cell podcast. If you want to be on the show, contact me at themetalcell@gmail.com. Find me on Facebook and Instagram on The Metal Cell. Over and out. Thanks again, lads.
You're the top man. Thanks, Richie.
Thank you.
If only you could really say what you become, the empty shell of who you used to be. takes its toll. If only you can see what you've become. You've only done this to yourself. You're